Came across this picture of me holding our first grandchild. Some 19 years ago, I guess. She was just an infant. Let me share that with you. I know what you're thinking. I haven't changed a bit. Okay, maybe a little. This is our 33rd day of Lent. And the scripture today comes from Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Do not be dismayed. Well, those are challenging words for our time, aren't they? Coronavirus and being isolated is probably causing us some concern. But looking at this child, this picture of me holding this infant, has me thinking outside of my own personal fears right now, to the fears others may be having today or have had. Carolyn Pogue, in her reflection for this Lenten day, talked about her great-grandmother. My own great-grandmother was carrying a child in 1909. The child was going to be born without a father present. What fears would she have been having? It's hard to imagine. I never knew my great-grandmother. But it must have been a scary time for her. Think of all the children in our world today in our own country. We can think of the youth that were taken away from their parents and given to residential schools. The fear of separation of those children from their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. I can't imagine what that would have been like. Kind of makes some of my own fears seem pretty small. The Chrysalis House in our community is a support for women and their children that are fleeing danger. I can't imagine what that fear would be like. So perhaps on this Lenten day, number 33, to not reflect on my own concerns and my own fears, but perhaps reflect on the fears of the children today, the children in our past, and even those children from the past who live on today carrying the fears and scars. What can we reflect on to help us become in touch with the fears of others, the most vulnerable in our society? Let's think about that this day. I'd like to borrow the prayer from Carolyn Pogue. Great Spirit, we know that we cannot always protect children from pain, sorrow, and trauma. Help us remember to give each child we meet a word of encouragement, and strengthen us to raise our voices and use our power to protect innocent children from poverty, pain, and dismissal. In the name of your child, Jesus, and for all your children. Amen. Go out safely and without fear on this 33rd day of Lent.